Oh, hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk about some EDC items for the DIY person out there. There's lots of videos about all the tactical and tactical things that people like to carry around in their pockets just when they're out and about every day. But I want to cover some items that don't show up that often. Or maybe just some items that you want to put in your pockets when you're not out and about, but when you're just hanging around the house working on stuff. Starting with some measuring tools. A small tape like this is a 9-foot Dewalt tape, can be really handy for doing most projects. Most of the things that I work on, even out here in my shop, I'm not working with anything more than 9 feet long. I like this Dewalt tape because it's a good size, 9 feet, so I can measure a full 8-foot sheet of plywood if I need to. It comes with a really nice clip, so you can clip it onto a pocket. It also has a magnet on this side, so I can stick it to a cabinet, a refrigerator, a tool, the side of the band saw, table saw, whatever I'm working on. The next tool is one that I really enjoy having, and that is a set of calipers, small pocket-sized calipers. This one is a little stainless steel one. This one is brass. You can pick these up. They're pretty inexpensive. They fit in a pocket, and they're really handy when you need to get a quick measurement on the thickness of something, the length of a bolt or a screw, the inside diameter of something, and then when you run to the hardware store, you can pull this out and you can measure to make sure you're getting the exact right dimensions and you don't end up walking home with the wrong parts. Next, we have these spring punches. Now these come in lots of different sizes and shapes. These are a really handy tool for setting nails of all sizes, knocking out the hinge pins on door hinges, just all sorts of things. It's surprising how much force these generate with just that little spring, and you never know when you might need to knock something loose. Next up, a couple of knives, multi-tool sort of things. I like multi-tools, but some multi-tools just have too many tools on them. The tool that I find I use the most is a knife blade for just general cutting and a screwdriver. So there are a couple of tools that I have been using a lot, and that is the Kershaw Select Fire. It's got a knife, screwdriver, multiple bits. This is the Gerber Armbar drive, has a knife, scissors, and a screwdriver. Then the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1. This is a utility knife. It also has a screwdriver here. It has some other little tools built in, like a rope cutter and a bottle opener. I like a tool like this because the screwdriver is a lot more usable than a lot of multi-tool screwdrivers. These are longer, they give you a little more reach, and they're a little more ergonomic and easier to use. Next up is a notebook and a writing utensil. Now notebooks are handy for all sorts of things, keeping notes obviously, writing down dimensions and measurements, just keeping track of all sorts of things. Everybody should have one. I know people keep track of things on their phones a lot, but just can't beat good old pen and paper sometimes. And you can go from the really cheap dollar store or Walmart 10 for $1 notebooks. With inflation, these are probably like $1 a piece now. You can go nicer and get a Rite in the Rain notebook, or maybe you want to step things up and get something like this. This is a year-long calendar and notebook combination. As far as writing utensils, a good choice is something like a Pokka Pen. These are very small and they open up into a very usable pen, and they're not too expensive. Some other options I like are these Zebra F301s because they're pretty compact and they write really nicely. Often using a Sharpie or a marker is nice for marking on all types of surfaces. The marker that I really like are these Milwaukee brand markers. They don't really write that differently from your standard Sharpie or other permanent markers, but they're really tough and the cap on them snaps on very positively so it doesn't come off easily, and they've got a really nice clip. It clips onto pockets and thicker things, as well as the cap has a hole through it so you could put it on a lanyard or a keychain or something like that. Trauma shears are a fantastic tool. They will cut most things and they're not too expensive. You can get a usable pair of shears for under $10. You can get some standard size shears like this or the smaller size like this, still usable but fits a little better in a pocket. And shears are a great tool for the DIY person out there because you can cut through so many types of materials with them. I use a small pouch like this to keep a lot of small tools in for just odd jobs and things I might encounter. This is a Dickinson Trading Post pouch. There are a lot of companies and a lot of brands. I really like these because they're made in the US. Pouches like this also work great for small first aid kits, which are a must when you're doing any DIY projects. And last but not least, who doesn't need a ridiculously oversized carabiner? Everybody needs one of these. This is the Night Eyes number 10 S-Beaner. This is sort of a silly item. It's really oversized. It's almost like a gag gift. I do use this to hang up electrical cords, coil them up and clip them in this side, so it can be useful. So that is my list here of some EDC items for the DIY person out there, someone who spends a lot of time working on projects. This is just some things that you might think about carrying in your pockets, or if you are doing some last minute Christmas shopping, maybe these are some ideas. Let me know if any of these are items that you carry with you or you use for projects around your house. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.